All right, starting in a moment. All right, so jump right into it. Start tracking. Fancy blue screen. See how it goes. The blue screen might fall over. The thing that's holding it up is so sad. It's so pathetic. All right, so this shot submitted by Walnut Brain or Xander in chat. Gonna do a quick camera solve of this. Absolutely a tripod. A nodal solve. And we'll do a object solve of the kayak. And yeah, see how it goes. See what's up. So this is just gonna be quick. This is the first time that I'm streaming with my setup as it is. And sorry about the echo. So yeah, we're just gonna have to put up with it for now. But this hopefully will be a pretty quick shot. Kind of a warm-up. So I'm gonna start tracking. I'm gonna lay down a point here. Xander, hello. 3 O's. That is a hefty hello, man. All right, so hold C, place down a tracker, and go. Oh wow, the resolution of the shot's quite high. Let's reduce this search box so that it goes at a decent speed. It's so nice to be moved in. Excited to see how things arrange themselves as the days go on. Having a lot of fun finding places to put things. What's in the water? What are those? What is that? Xander, what blew air out of the water? Or blew water out of the water? I'm gonna have to move my mic. It's in my way. I'm gonna have to get a mic stand now. I'm gonna have to actually get a proper streaming setup because I don't have my shoe desk anymore. One second, work is messaging me. Sorry about this wait. All right. Okay, killer eels from Princess Bride or possibly fish. Let's just dot down a couple more points on this terrain over here and just kind of leave it at that. I really got to move this mic, but the further I move it away, the more intense the echo is going to be. Let's dot down a couple trackers here. Sorry, very distracted and very slow. I'm actually just going to leave it at this point for the camera. Nice to see that things look like it's working. That's good. Wasn't sure how things were going to go with the blue screen. Alright, so this camera, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I could have dotted down some more points. That would have been preferred, because if there's any distortion, I would like to maximize my ability to calculate that. But I'm not going to care too much about that for this stream. This is just going to be very quick. So I'm going to swap over to tripod, and I'm just going to see what it does by itself. I'm going to turn on distortion, fixed unknown. Everything seems great. Even the echo isn't too bad. That is awesome. That's good to hear. Okay, so there's that. Our distortion is virtually nothing. Assuming this is just some shutter stuff. Okay, my trackers are also doing a little bit of a dip, which is expected, I guess. The white colors are kind of eroding into the dark areas, pushing my trackers in funny directions. But that's fine. That's motion blur. I assume this is since you're still getting set up, but we don't see messages on screen. Oh! Okay, they'll pop up now. My bad. So this here, because this looks like a fairly long lens, and any little bump to the camera is going to make some havoc on the rolling shutter. And motion blur, I'm not going to worry about these points erroring out like they are, because they actually look like they're doing a pretty fantastic job. I can see the image skewing. You can actually see it skewing diagonally. Or shearing, whatever the proper term is. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave the camera as it is now. So maybe just... Actually, sorry, not the camera. I'm going to leave the points as they are, and we're going to play around with the focal length. So I don't have any information on this, so which is fine. I'm just going to let this thing do whatever it wants to do. I see you when you sleep. Can you critique my first digital drawing using Gaussian blur, please? I need some criticism. I don't think I'm the best. I don't think I'm the best person to critique that. You'll probably want to go to someone who's actually doing. You might want to go to someone who's actually doing some art on their stream. Oh boy. Unfortunately, I had to block that person because that was an inappropriate link. So what do we do now? I'm going to Sorry, I got distracted and thrown off by that. That was pretty silly. That's the first time I've had to lock somebody. That one was a no-go immediately. Okay. But you got me. You got me. Yeah, let's just ignore the camera. I was trying to figure out what this lens might be. So focal length 116. I think I'm just gonna lock it up at 100. Xander, a pocket 4K with 85 mil lens with no adapter or anything. Oh, so I should be able to just go with my preset. 93. Wow, that brought it a lot closer. All right, we're just gonna lock it at 85. So we got this. Now we're gonna leave the camera as it is. I am so distracted this stream. A lot of things on my mind. Also just trying to get used to things at this moment. My posture and the mic being in the way and everything. And me trying not to roll back and knock down this blue screen. And that random person showing up. And also work messaging me. There's a lot going on. Okay, so I'm just going to ignore that. Let's go ahead and start tracking the kayak. Add moving object. I absolutely do have to move this mic. I don't know how much of this I'm going to track because a couple of the screws or whatever they are on the side of the kayak doesn't they look kind of noisy, and it looks like I would spend more time trying to correct them than it's worth. Ganasa, hello. Oh, I screwed up this point. Actually, I think I screwed up this point a while ago. Just, just, what's up? A lot of things at the moment. Very distracted as I do this. Got work messaging me. Gotta maneuver around my new setup a little bit that I'm not used to. Trying not to knock stuff down and get stuff in the way. Had to block somebody for the first time, so that was fun. You have a green screen. Oh, nice. Correction. Blue screen. Can you see the blur? OBS's keyer is terrible. I need to get actual proper lights. To get this working and looking decent was quite an ordeal. I hope this is the only point that I'm putting this amount of work into. Eric, hello. And Matt G, hello. Sometime. Okay, how swimmy is this point? I did this point very sloppily. This part's okay. Yeah, and then it kind of screws itself up there. Yeah, I did a pretty bad job there at the end. We'll see if I fix that. I don't want to spend a crazy amount of time on this shot. A lot of drift. Tricky shot. Yeah, um, this shot isn't too bad. The thing with this shot is this is the kind of shot you would dread if they expected there to be shadows or something, or they wanted you to build geometry for this kayak, because this is a very awkward shape to model off a track. See, when I solve this, I'm going to try and solve it as symmetrically as I can so that you could maybe model it. It's going to be a little odd. A lot of noise going on this one. I probably could have pre-processed this plate a little bit. So I have a number of trackers that are swimmy. So I'm hoping that I could go and try and get a couple extra points here and there so that it'll average out and my user error will not be so apparent. Oh, this part's kind of rough. I think I let a pop go as well. I better go back. Yeah, so here's some motion blur, kind of eroding, kind of pushing my tracker in one direction. Did I fix that? A little bit there is a little off. Gotta bring it back. Kind of overcompensated. I can't even see what's going on here, so I'm kind of probably tracking something incorrectly. We'll leave that for now. Could anybody let me know if the keystrokes are bad? Because the mic is so close to my keyboard now that I had to start using my denoiser again, so it might be quite rough. Ooh, that was bad. Sometimes catches it, but not a problem. I'd imagine it catches it when I'm talking. Another sloppy point right here. Also, that rope is kind of shaking around slightly. Hopefully that doesn't affect anything, though. We're just going to kill it. I can hear them, but they aren't overpowering or anything. Eric hasn't been too bad. Awesome. Really not feeling like annoying anyone today. Ah, the noise. I'm just going to kill this. It kind of comes back into focus there at the end. Is it worth it? It's probably worth it. I don't know. I'll try to do it later. Making your points last as long as possible is just amazing. Did you get any new toys recently, like camera, games, maybe software? I have not. um, but now I actually have the space to kind of expand my desk setup a bit. So I plan to. I do have a webcam that I have to pick up, so this camera setup might be changing a little bit. I don't know. I really like using my Blackmagic camera, but it's hard to set up. Well, it's not hard to set up. It's tedious to set up every time. So the camera might change. I might try some multicam setup stuff. I might try to get a top-down view like uh, mouse and keyboard, so you can see the buttons I'm pressing and how I am doing it. I don't really want to do screencast. It's just another element that I got to move around on screen. This is a very bad point. A lot of drift there. I'm going to backtrack. Would you use Neat Video for this or just Synthesize pre-processing stuff? I would use Neat Video. Yeah, I would use Neat Video. Nuke's denoiser is not the best. Um, actually, I barely see it work, honestly. It does work. I'm just kind of exaggerating and being mean. But yeah, Neat Video is incredible. Neat Video, it's pretty insane how it can pick up such small details and not just preserve them, but preserve their space. Because a lot of denoisers do this patching stuff, and it'll shift the details and they bubble around. Neat Video does a little bit of that, but nowhere near as bad as other denoisers I've used. Resolve denoise is pretty nice. Resolve denoise, that's Neat Video. Um, and it's amazing. That's the one I'm just talking about. I usually use it in Nuke. I've used it in Nuke at Zoic. I've used it in Nuke at Hydraulics and Track Defects. But now that I have Resolve, I have a copy, and it's great. 1 second. Work again. I'll get back to this in just one moment. Might as well just play it for fun. Okay, cool. Okay. So let's see. It looks like the harder points are kind of out. The other points I'm about. That is the ambulance going off outside my building. Thought I'd escape that. No, not really. I moved right beside a hospital. Xander. Oh wait, what? You can get Neat Video for Resolve, but it's not the built-in one, I don't think. Yeah, it is. The built-in denoiser in Resolve. You scroll that it's reduced noise and you launch it up. It's actually Neat Video. I don't know if Resolve has two denoisers, so maybe we're talking about a different thing, but Neat Video is in Resolve. I didn't install anything. I've never installed anything for Resolve, so it'd be amazing if I did something elsewhere and got it in there. There's a denoise on the color page. That's the one you're thinking about? Do I have to launch Resolve right now? 1 second. I'm gonna hide my screen for a second. I'm gonna launch Resolve. I want to launch Resolve real quick and just show you the thing. And I also want to see the other denoiser. So that's launching. I'm just hiding my screen because like a lot of programs try to do file browser stuff, and I have a lot of work projects, and the titles for my track VFX projects cannot be shown. So bear with me for 1 second. Wait, my mind may be blown here. Did I miss a denoiser? You did. You absolutely did. Okay, we're almost up. You need secret code names for all the stuff you wrote. We do. We do have code names, but you're not supposed to show those code names as well. Oh, the project that I chose to show the denoiser. Um, all my media was disconnected from my old hard drive. Okay, 1 sec. Okay, 1 second. Almost there. All right, I'm coming back. Okay, so here, I have this fabulous fisheye shot. Um, I was gonna mess around with this on stream, but I forgot to shoot a checkerboard, so I didn't end up doing this. But you can see right here in a library, neat video, reduce noise. Yeah, and it just comes with Resolve. So you have it. Yeah, Xander, if you have not used neat video, this is industry standard. This is like the best you can get. um, this is not a good shot to show it off on, honestly. Not at all. Yeah, this is. I'm not too technical with it. I just auto profile and that's it. But yeah, that's what you want. Eric, never reveal the code names. Yes. Magi, it's an extra. They appear as effects once you install them. You have to install effects separately? I didn't know that. I just kind of installed whatever it. I don't know. It just kind of did it all. Anyway, yeah. If you're tracking, use neat video. Neat video is the least destructive to the plate. I have neat video for Premiere and it's great. Nice. All right, let's try and get this out of the way. I want to start solving this kayak here as soon as possible because I'm getting called away to do work. It's funny people asking me on Discord about how many hours I do, and then or now I gotta get pulled away. I just have an annoying shot that kind of got me. Uh, it doesn't appear in Resolve for me. Oh, maybe that's what Matt G just said about installing the effects once you install them. Install effects. I can't speak. I'm sorry. Wonder if I can get this little sliver back here, just for a little bit, just to get some detail in the back. And I don't like that anymore. And is she stable enough to track? Might put a might put a low weight point on here. I haven't used Neat Video in so long, partly because I haven't used Premiere in so long. I used the built-in non-Neat Video denoiser with the color tab in Resolve since I edit there directly. Ah. Yeah, I haven't used that one. I'd imagine it works faster. Yeah, unfortunately, Neat Video running in Resolve is pretty slow. Well, I don't think I'd call it slow. It's just the effects plugins are all real-time and GPU based, right? I'm going to track her hand. Not anymore. And this hand, yeah, she's kind of resting it on the side of the kayak, so there's a little bit of stability there. All right, kill it off there. It might actually be okay to do some low weight paints on the paddles. I'm gonna do a solve right now, and I solved it so that I can actually lock on to these points here, even though they shut off. A little bit easier to look at. You can see the points dropping off here at the back. Not good. So to fix that, I'm gonna track her knuckles for a little bit, since that detail is visible. So let me try and get it through here. I should just offset track this point. Now we're gonna power through. This is a prime offset tracking bit. I don't really want to track the top of this. So offset. Cool. What did offset tracking mean? Offset tracking is, let's say we are tracking this piece here. Actually, I might as well do this point under my camera. Offset tracking is this. So once this, let's. Dry throat. So once this detail is about to be obscured, you try to track it and this happens. So you can turn on offset, hold shift, drag this, and start to track another nearby detail. And you can keep your little cursor down there. So when you lock, you can see that your tracker sits on that piece. So that is offset tracking. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. Granted, iPhone footage is what I mostly denoise. Can look a little warpy, like heat distortion in certain areas, but the nature of the phone footage, too, less about the denoiser tool. Yeah, the compression on phone footage is pretty aggressive. Okay, so this kayak, there was that point that dropped down to the beginning. All this stuff kind of drops down when this point turns off. So let me just see if I can expand, keep this going. Oh, wow. Matt is impressed. I got myself a 360 camera, hoping to have some fun with that when I dip my toes into VFX. Oh, that would be a lot of fun. Um, I've been messing around with the 360. Well, I had messed around with it a few months ago. It is a lot of fun. Okay, so if I solve this, this point should snap back up. And you can see the back of the kayak is now kind of returned to where it should be. So I kind of want to track her knee because it seems kind of locked down. I'm actually kind of annoyed with the camera shake. I'm going to get rid of it. Stabilize. We're going to go maybe peg. No, let's go filter. Filter, and we'll go to a low frequency. Auto scale. Actually, no, I don't want to auto scale. Let's go delta zoom. Get it down a bit. And now I'm going to come over to here, stabilization, and I think that's actually it. Yeah. So now I've stabilized the shot. Oh, it has to cache. I didn't want that. Oh, the plate's high resolution now. It's going to take some time. Stabilizing is non-destructive to what you've done so far. Yeah, it's not destructive the way Syntheyes does it. One sec. I'll explain that in a moment. Okay. So this stabilize. So stabilization, what a lot of software does, um, it translates your footage side to side. So what's bad about that is that you mess up your optical center. But if you have a solve and focal length, when you stabilize, Syntheyes, and there's some software that does this as well, if you can give it camera information. You can, if you look to adjust, there is delta U, delta V, delta rotate, delta zoom. So if this is dependent on my field of view that we solve for this shot. So if I move this, like let's say side to side, it's hard to see because this shot has a long focal length. But look at the top line. Wait, let me undo that. Wait, sorry, let me cancel. I just want to. Oh, I could cancel later. So if, look at the top line. You will see that this plate, as it rotates, it starts to kind of do this skew thing. I can't remember which is which, shear or skew. Can't remember. But yeah, so if I move it sideways, it actually it's kind of like a 3D move. This is preserving the optical center. So we can stabilize and Syntheyes, preserve the optical center, and then pass this shot on to anybody, and they can actually track and solve it. When you give a comp artist a shot to stabilize, they're not doing any solving or any fancy stuff. So they're doing this 2D stabilize, and it kind of screws over people in tracking. Yeah, I wish comp artists wouldn't stabilize without a 3D track, or just without us. But I know that is more in the realm of something a comp artist should be controlling, so I get that. So yeah, this type of stabilize is actually preserving the optical center. And I just did that because I was sick of the kayak bouncing around so much. So I'm gonna work on this stabilized. Let's get rid of these radars. So right now I can solve. And you could see the solve works the same as it did. But now I can actually look at this stuff, and it's not just jumping everywhere. I can see it cleanly. And my trackers will not have to jump around to find the detail every time. So I can have a smaller search field. Yeah, this is, I really like doing this in Syntheyes. This is one of my favorite things to do. So let's see, what else is there to track? I wonder if it's worth it to keep tracking her. Man, the Kier is grabbing a bit of your inner eyes. Yeah, I was kind of hoping nobody would see that. Yeah, my my pupils are disappearing. Or cornea. I'm gonna say cornea just because it's encased. I recently went on an old stream binge, and this may be old news, but if you are still planning on doing a water tracking tutorial or animal tracking tutorial, let me know. I have some footage. A dog. I'll track a dog. Like a head track? I want to track a dog. That'd be fun. And water. I would have to see if I can do that. I mean, I can, but it's kind of a new thing that we figured out at track, and we kind of want to just keep it with us just for a little bit. Yeah, I don't want to dump our methods out immediately, like super fast. Yeah, because that would be scary if because I don't know, there could be a lot of other people at other studios that are watching some of this stuff. And it would be a shame if this cool new thing that we can do is gone super fast. I will. I am gonna show it off. It'll probably be like a couple months or so before I'm comfortable. Like, yeah, it's been out there for a little bit. It's not a very common thing to do. I literally did a cloth sim for water and used that in my match move. It was yeah, I thought it was really cool. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna start trying to solve this and see what I can do with it real quick. So first, let's start color coding some points because we're going to start seeing how symmetrical this solve came out. Ooh, you can see the kayak is stretched out. Just it is pretty bad. So we're gonna have to fix this now. Oh, this isn't fun. This type of thing isn't fun. This type of thing also just completely uh scares beginners because this is like I promise you, if it weren't for me like showing you this here, this would probably kind of drive you up the wall. You'd probably figure it out. You could probably figure it out if you watched a couple tutorials, but I don't know many people doing this like this online. So I'm, oh man, this is going to be a little bit of trial and error. I might even get a reference image of a kayak and use it to find a measurement for this. Eric, you're gone. Gonna hop off now. Hopefully catch you again. Thank you for stopping by. It's been some time. And Yeah, hopefully see you soon. Xander. Yeah, and one you said you wanted to do an animal for a talking animal effect or something. Yeah, I want to do that. Give me all the footage of dogs you can. Nah, pick your favorite and send me one. Um, Magi, so to fake more points on Kayak, you could kind of add a bunch of offset points. Yeah, absolutely. Like something that I'm a huge fan of doing is I take how many trackers do I have that last the whole time? So I'm gonna look over here, come over to this keyframe view, this tracks, go to tracks mode. So here I could see the points that all last the entire shot. So I'm gonna select whatever ones I can get that last the whole way. So now that I have, see, now that I have these selected, these points are not turning off. So they will not cause a pop when I merge them. So if I take these, I can go new, duplicate, I clone, clear offset. Oh, that's right. You're about to clone to clear offset. Yeah, let's clear the offset. So now I've duplicated them. And while they're selected, I'm just going to hit Shift 7. And let's see if this works. That offset channel might have screwed this. Hey, so now we have a tracker that is average center to all those points that we tracked. So this point, the point of this is that I don't want to offset one individual point because a lot of those points have noise and jitter. So I grabbed a bunch of them that don't turn off, merged them together so that I can have the average motion of all of them. So this point here, I'm now going to do some duplicates off of and offset, let's say this point. So let's go just straight to the end. Now start jumping in between. So if I really wanted to, you can come in and, oh, by the way, doing offset tracking in newer versions of Syntheyes, way better. Because there's an actual dedicated edit where you get your own timeline for an offset point. So yeah, let's pretend I spend a lot more time on that. So I lock, and we have a tracker that is far smoother than the one that I did there. So yeah, that was this method saves my ass so many times, but this is not a good shot to show it off on. So I don't know if anybody really gets the gravity of what I just did there. um, um, man, you're such a good teacher. I need to get Syntheyes and make some stuff. Use all that knowledge. Do it, man. If you learn Syntheyes, or just general like how to track, you're gonna feel unstoppable for what kind of shots that you can do. A lot of people learning are restricted by the type of shot that they are able to track. Okay, so let's see if I now that I showed that, let's see if I can get this going now. So I'm gonna find so if I'm gonna make this kayak, I want to try and get the most symmetrical view of it I can. So I'm gonna try and get this as head on as I can here. I wish Synthesize had like a little ruler. Like if you click the button, oh, you know what? This might be a cool feature. I wish my license was not was like not old. But it'd be cool to have like a button. I don't know, somewhere that's like, oh, ruler, click. You click from this point over. Wait, you click from this point over to this point, and then you could see where the exact center line is, so that you can tell if you found the most symmetrical view of this kayak. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, I ran into my first strange encounter with the new Syntheyes solver the other day. I solved it twice with like a 4 error, and then again, and it got way better. Super weird. Yeah, the new solver can be amazing, but what's scary is that it's inconsistent. It solves using randomization, and they call it fuzz. Um, that is extremely powerful. Except I wish that there was more. I wish there was better documentation on it, and I wish Russ would actually make tutorials and solve a variety of shots using the solver. A lot of answers he gives are very non-answers in emails and stuff. Um, yeah, it's I know why he's changing the algorithm. The amount of data that Syntheyes is going to have to start computing soon with the more degrees of distortion that we'll be able to solve, the calculations are just getting immense, and you need to introduce some randomization. Otherwise, you're going to take forever to start. You're going to take forever calculating shots. Yeah, the solver is amazing. I just don't use it. I stick with 1709 because it's the same every time. And because it's the same every time, I know how Synthesize is going to react every time I make a change. You guys talk directly with the Synthesize devs? With Russ. Um, yeah, if you get Synthesize, you can email him directly. I don't know if he has a big team. I don't believe he has a big team. Tried figuring that out one day. But yeah, you can email Russ and you can tell it's him. He has a very specific he has a very specific way of talking in emails. I'll say that. Xander, yeah, I hope he or Matt Merck make a video about it. I really like the solver, but I also do want to understand it. Same here. I really hope that Matt Merck says that he understands it more and that it took him a bit to get the hang of it. Um, but he's kind of figured it out more and has dove into the solver settings more and gets the swatches there. I would love to see him tackle a shot. I actually want to, if I get a shot of my own that I fail, I want to see him tackle it. Maybe one day when I fail a shot so horrifically, I'm like, hey, this might be a good Matt Burke tutorial. But I would have to do that. I would have to attempt to do that shot in new Syntheyes. Okay, let me start trying to make this solve. So we're gonna color code a couple points. So the tip, I'm gonna go sure white. Let's go for the next row. Let's go sure orange. Back here. Let's make this blue. Uh, I think that's actually oh actually here's a couple more symmetrical points. Let's make this magenta. I wonder if Russ even spells the word error. I love how he says error. It's so great. Now, today we're gonna start looking into some tracker R's and how we can resolve them. You can see here that this tracker has some error because Cal did a terrible job at tracking it in the first place. Now, let's see. You remember when I was saying earlier that this point was pretty terrible, but look at the solve point. The solve point is doing a much better job. So if I Control J, hide all my trackers, the solve point sticks better than my tracker. So the more points you add, the more that you are going to average out your error and get a good result. This is why you want a lot of trackers. There's still some slide going on here, but I'm not going to go too deep into trying to fix it. Now, let's take a look at what we can do about this kayak. So, I'm gonna do something super, super dirty for now. Like super dirty. So I'm gonna go camera, hole, and I'm gonna try and arrange my scene it's so that it's so I get the most head-on view of this kayak that I possibly can. I'm gonna go hole, rotate, And I'm gonna hit 4 because I want the camera view with the grid. Also, I can't see this. So let's go solver, world size up. And that diamond is absurd. So I'm gonna go edit, scene settings, object size, tracker size can come down to. Also, is my camera in the way? Oh, it's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, now let me rotate my grid. I'm gonna go 3D whole. I gotta get this sitting down on the floor so I can actually see it. All right, so I want to straighten out this line. I don't think I chose the best frame. Maybe something like this feels a little bit better. Okay, so the reason I did that is because the object I want to kind of trust that the kayak is straight. So now when I go to object, I'm going to just start to pull these points back into space and position them myself and see what we can make of this and experiment with the error. I'm gonna go push this something, I don't know, like here maybe. So you can see I grabbed the tracker and then under the seed and lock, you can manually position where that point wants to lock. But I used the nudge tool and I pushed the tracker back and it made itself a seed point. I do got to turn on lock each time I do this. So let's take these blue points and use the nudge tool. What frame am I on? 162? I'm going to scrub and remember that's the frame that I have. So that looks like, actually this doesn't look too bad. So I'm going to take this tracker, push it back a little bit, kind of line them up to one another. Make sure that they're set to lock. And let's switch to refine. So refine will obey these, should obey these points. So if I go, oh, constrain on. Hey, look at this. Frame 162. My man. So look at what we just did to the kayak by forcing those 2 points with our educated guess. We can now actually see the shape of this kayak start to take form. And it's actually kind of turning like it should. You could see it actually doing its nice little clean drift through the water. If somebody showed me how to do this like 8 years ago, I would have flipped. 8 years ago? 5 years ago. I would have flipped. Because this, I don't know, this kind of stuff is what killed me. Is it kind of like duplicating points? I feel like I see more points now. No, you're not duplicating points. So each point, if you have any lock, any like position data, like if I nudge it back and forth, it's going to automatically create the point. So you can see now it has this yellow point. That is a seed position. That's like, this is where you want this tracker to go. So when you select your tracker, you give it some position, and then you can turn on lock so that when you solve, this point will snap over to that. So yeah, you're not duplicating points. But if you think that you've seen any duplicate points, that might be because now that I've narrowed the kayak, everything kind of compressed. Because the ship or the kayak is now closer to its actual length. So maybe an illusion? Maybe? I don't know. um, so um, this is the point where you could experiment. You might want to try model the boat. You might do a rough base model in Maya or Blender or whatever. See what your model does with this. Like just yeah, like it's going to be trial and error at this point to see what serves your solve best. Right now, I'm going to show my points and turn on tracker the error radars. And this is where you might want to just watch it, see what this does with your forced points. Things don't look too bad. Like they actually look fantastic. And the error is 0.6. That is awesome. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's a fish. That's cool. Um, okay, so this kayak, let's see. I'm gonna go to 162 just for funsies. I'm gonna go and make a box. Pretend I know the length of the kayak. I don't. Kind of take out all the divisions. And now let's go into orbit. I just want to try something just for fun. Wow, I hadn't seen that fish. Purple moose, it does. Oh, damn, I think the fish wants to get tracked. Such a privilege. So I'm going to take this, take its divisions down, but not these ones. Okay, I just started with trying this today, actually. If I go mesh, I can go set edit mesh. And now, come on, move vertices. So, oh wow, that's hard to see. I need to make this something else. Okay, so you can, oh, Syntheyes. Oh, you disconnected the faces. Come on. That's annoying. Anyway, you can do some stuff that I haven't fully figured out yet. I was thinking I was gonna try and shape this kayak out. I'm not gonna now. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna leave that box as it is and just, yeah, so we have, oh wow, that looks terrible. You also got to remember that the back of this kayak doesn't taper. So I'm gonna taper this real quick. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Oh crap. Set edit mesh off. Smudge relax. Oh, I'm lost. Let's just pretend that we're properly tapering our kayak. Wait, oh, there it is. I need brush through. Oops. Nope, not relax. What a sad model. The rotation is off. Um, hello. Uh, that's a sad model. Anyway, the rotation is off. You can see the back of this kayak is swinging way too much. Either that or it's just too long. This kayak is really up in the air at the front of it. I used to have a fishing kayak that had a very short back, so that when you're fishing, it was easier for you to maneuver. I doubt that's what this is. But it seems like it's got a wider base and that the kayak is more narrow, just for, stability. Hands could be good reference. Good reference. Let's see where the hands are. No, they look kind of yeah, they look kind of okay. Yeah, if I want to make an attempt at fixing this, what I would try to do here is I would take my two blue points and I can push them back. If I push them back, the rotation is going to dampen. So like just for funsies, I'm going to show you if I shorten the distance, compress the points, not so extreme. If I compress the points with this front point, so now you can see that the kayak rotates way more. Is my camera in the way? So now, if I wanted to, let me undo that. I can bring them back further and solve. We've lengthened the kayak now. And you can see that it does not rotate as much now. So that's the trial and error that I was talking about. When you're trying to guess stuff manually, not things in the world aren't perfect. Measurements are different. Manufacturers do different weird things to their products depending on who's making it. So you might look up a kayak and the measurements might still not work for you, but you can eye something out, get something working. This point here, that was on the very back of the kayak, or back-ish, has pushed itself further back now, so that's pretty nice. All right, so this kayak is floating on the water. Let's pretend this is good, because again, I wanted to keep this a short stream. If you wanted to, you're just gonna have to best guess how these points land, and then you can take this into your software choice, model this out better. Like you could see, I moved my box here, and I kind of lost my symmetry. But yeah, you can do a better job and model this and see how it works with the solve. If it doesn't, just try iterate and Syntheyes a bit. But yeah, so let's start finishing this. Let's go over to camera. Going to make a big old water plane. It's not going to be big enough. This is a very shallow lens. So I'm going to make that whole. Let's see. It looks like I got the bottom of the kayak kind of in the area. A little bit too high. Drag it up a bit. Okay, so if I hit 4, L lock to camera. Oh, I missed a couple messages. Chow, how to repair the displacement of the hull? Oh, if you're talking about my model, don't model in Syntheyes. You're not going to be able to solve that very easily. Or sorry, you're not going to be able to model that with precision in Syntheyes. If that's what you mean by displacement of the hull. So I wouldn't do it here. You would take your solve into Maya, Blender, model it out, and hopefully it works. Matt, it's like 60% of the kayak is behind the hands. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Actually, I don't know if you were making a joke or not, but that sounds pretty serious. That actually sounds correct because you are typically center mass. But actually, you're not 100% center mass kayaks, I think, because your legs go to the front of the kayak. You have a slight offset to the back to counter your weight. Um, I've owned two kayaks, and they were both kind of like that. So you might be saying I thought you were making a joke at first. I laughed, but I think you're right. Xander, it might just be too long. The kayak is longer in the front than the back, uh, by like a foot or so. Yeah, um, yeah, absolutely. If we look at the solve now, where do the hands go? Ah, oh yeah, in my model I shortened it. This needs to be back there more. I don't want to iterate that. I could. Let me try to iterate that real quick. Let me color the hands. What color are the hands going to be? Let's go red. I don't like red because like it's so hard to see when you select it. The shade is so slight. Okay, so we're gonna bring those hands ahead. So my model's likely. Hold on, let me see. Let's take a look at kayaks. There's so many different shapes of kayak. Let's pretend this is kind of standard. Oh, it is pretty center in the kayak. Never mind. Yeah, it was kind of my guess is your legs are under there. And on her kayak, her what's the front of the ship called again? Bow? I don't know. Oh, bow hatch. um, the front of her kayak was elevated. Unless we're just not seeing the kayak at the back go. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so we're just gonna do this really cheaply. Yeah, that was a little old. It looks pretty accurate now. Oh, sorry, my bad. I do think I don't know. It could just be my model. You know, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna chalk it up to my model being garbage because I did do weird things to it. Let's finish this up because the points do ultimately solve pretty nicely. And you can put some nice 3D stuff on here. Put a seagull sitting on your kayak. All right, let me do this camera real quick. So camera one, whole, rotate, and in this view, we're looking at the horizon line right here, and whole, and we'll rotate at the base of the kayak, get the horizon up, line it up with the water over here in the distance. And maybe a little bit of this. Well, was that the most water that was visible? Oh, there's more here. Oh, it's a pretty good job. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. Okay, so now that we've leveled the horizon, we have leveled the kayak. So let me see. There's a couple messages. Xander, the one by Dick's Sporting Goods at the top looks pretty similar. Is there a delay in my stream? Yeah, that's kind of old. Um, Matt, I'm gonna go. Great to catch you. It's 4 a.m. here. We need to play some Fortnite. Dude, I'll play some Fortnite with you, man. I'll play Fortnite with anybody who wants to play Fortnite with me. I like Fortnite. I play way too much Fortnite. Um, oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't take the stabilize off. That's fine. We can take it off now. So we're happy with this horizon. All right, let's get this stabilize off. I forgot about it. My bad. So P, image prep. We're gonna come to output first, and with the stabilization checked, we applied it earlier to the trackers. Actually, I better go here so you can see this. If you go to stabilize, nope, output, and while you still have the stabilized data in here, you need to go to output, have stabilization checked on, and remove. So now the trackers snap back to where they used to be. So I'm just gonna turn that off. You don't need to turn that off. So stabilize. Now I can come over here. None, none. Also, I think I adjusted delta zoom. This should be 1. There we go. Now my points look like they're lined back up. So we gotta let this plate cache now, unfortunately. Yeah. Also, I hope that my voice isn't crazy while this is caching. I remember that used to be a thing months ago. But yeah, that's gonna be a moment. So I'm gonna play on my phone for like just one moment. Halfway done. Come on. All right, almost there. Um, Voice seems fine. It was an issue when you tried to use cycles, but it's fine here. In another stream. Yeah. I just checked, and I don't have neat video in my resolve either. Aw, man. Um, yeah, I guess you gotta, guess you gotta look into effects. Mine just came with effects, so I don't get that. All right, so now you can see that our solve needs to update, so I'm just gonna solve it. And we might have lost the camera position. Yes, we did. So let me rotate that. Kept the rotation, so that's great. So that lineup is pretty fast. And our kayak is still above the water. So to finish this up, actually all we have to do is come to filter control, distance, and apply the filter a few times. Oops, I did it to the camera. So let me undo. Go to Object 1. Make sure Object 1 is selected because it didn't update there. So filter control, distance, and we can watch this super jittery path calm itself down. I hit it a good number of times, and I was only comfortable doing that because this lens is so long. So me pushing that object back and forth in space isn't really harming anything. So now our kayak is very smooth, gliding through the water. That's it, actually. Also, um, thinking about the conversation I was having with Matt on his Discord. So this Syntheyes for some reason does not account for first and last frames like other software does. So if you were to, oh, I got to get out of, into the graph mode. So if you looked at the solved path, ah, what? Come on. Why isn't that framing? Okay, let's hide that. Oops, wrong one. Interesting, that's not framing itself. Is that a bug? I don't see any selections here that could cause this. Okay, so my frame that should be expanding the graph is not working, and I don't know why. So I might have just come across a bug, maybe. Uh, yeah, so I was gonna show that the filtering control, because Matt was saying on his Discord when somebody posted, oh, was it you, Xander, or was it Milo? I don't remember. Somebody posted one of my streams talking about filtering, and then Matt was mentioning what I called was this weird notch in the graph, which I don't know why Synthesize does not account for it, because you can account for it. A lot of software does it, and our script at work does it too. But for some reason, it's not being accounted for in Synthesize. So when you smooth, the first frame will have a bit of a kink in it. I do gotta say, I have absolutely witnessed Synthesize smooth correctly without that kink, like many times. I don't know what's up with that. uh, Xander, John, yeah, I think it had to do with the installation thing. Oh, Xander, what are your thoughts on Blackmagic Fusion as a Nuke user? Have you tried it? I'm learning it now so I can get used to node-based compositor. It's pretty hard to beat Nuke. I've played a bit with Fusion, not enough to have an actual opinion. So I just don't have an actual opinion on it. But at a first glance, Fusion's compositor locks you to a side-to-side workflow. I'm personally a waterfall workflow kind of person, top down. I like watching like the waterfalls, the mountains and the streams, the water kind of pools down in the creeks and comes to the river at the end. I like seeing my script top down, watching all my effects and everything kind of come down and merge together into the final image. Left, right, yeah, that's kind of like you read a book left to right, you play a video game left to right. Like, typically progress is kind of left to right kind of a thing. I personally am not a fan of that layout, and you're kind of locked to it in Fusion from what I've seen. Um, I don't know. To me, it kind of feels weird because looking at the top and or the bottom and knowing that they're not ordered top bottom for, I don't know. I like, I don't know. I like top down because it's both left, right, and then top. I don't know how to explain it. It's just how I like working. Fusion looks amazing though. I've seen a fair bit of stuff on it. It looks like a lot of fun. I do got to dive into it. There is a lot of things that I want to just quickly gun out and resolve. I do want to jump into it, but man, there's so much software and so much stuff I got to do. Wasn't me, probably Milo. Xander, oh, I use it. I use it as a top-down thing. You can switch. Yes. Okay, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. That makes me happy. Okay, I didn't know that you can switch the swatches, or if they just allow you to go top-down by default. But you said it's switched in the options. Okay, well I'm gonna do that. That's exciting. That actually gets me quite excited. Okay, so anyway, let's ignore that notch thing that I said because I can't expand it in the graph. I don't know why. Never seen that before. But yeah, this is basically this finished. So I hit F3, horizon, it's hovering across the water. This is done. So yeah, if there were any lingering questions about this or something, that's it. I have nothing else. And hopefully on another stream, I'll be a little bit more active to start out. And my setup will be different again. Well, it's not going to look different, hopefully. But I got to clean up how I have my blue screen set up. I gotta clean up my desk. Gotta finish setting up my other monitors. Yeah, it's kind of tough to do this. I was on a photo of my recent comp to show you real quick on Discord. Yeah. All right. So, by the looks of it, there are no immediate questions. So I am going to shut this down and be done with it. Man, this lighting makes my hair look real shiny. Weird looking ears. It was a nice purple moose. It was a nice stream, so don't worry about it. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. There's still some more things I have to get going, and also a lot of shots I like to rehearse slightly. This one I didn't exactly know what I was gonna do with the kayak, and I don't mean like 100% rehearse, like 100% I know what I'm gonna do. I just tend to give shots a little bit more thought. I just kind of loaded this one up and started the stream, so there was a yeah, a little weirdness here. I could have done this one a little bit different. But yeah, it's hard with weird shapes. All right. Anyway, thank you for watching. Good to see you, John, Purple, and Xander, and I can't see other names on my list, and it's hard for me to scroll. All right. Thank you. And let's swap over. Oh, I forgot how to do this. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.